Hey, good afternoon. I have a little story that I want to share with you because it's kind of like one of those lessons learned things. It has to do with that exhaust that I put on my motorcycle the other day. Well, remember when it had the baffle, with or without the baffle, for two different sounds? Well, just make the story quick for those who have one of these kind of exhausts. I gotta tell you, make sure that you put some kind of thread locker on the screw. So you see there's this little screw. It goes up in the bottom of the tailpipe to hold the baffle in, and it uses the Allen wrench to put it on. So before you, even when you go to take it out on a test drive, put a little thread locker on there and tighten it really tight, because it will fall out. So here's my story. I drove it without the baffle first to see what it sounded like. Then I put the baffle in and drove it around down the road. Next day, I was like, oh yeah, I need to remember to take that baffle out because I like the sound better that came out of without the baffle. I went to take it off and looked, and it's not there anymore. There's a little rubber plug that was in place, and it was actually holding the screw. Let me show you. You can see how that's kind of wallowed out because it was bouncing around. It must have made itself loose by the vibration of the bike riding over the road, and the baffle the screw got loose and it fell down in here. This had a little rubber cap on it. I have it over there, and the screw was just laying in there. So I pulled it out, but the baffle was no longer in there. So even though I didn't plan on putting it back in, I just wanted to go see if I could find it, see if it fell out on the road somewhere. And there's this big parking lot near my house that I was driving around in yesterday practicing driving the motorcycle. And I also went to the Harley shop, and because I was looking for a little quick disconnect for my helmet. Well, drove around really slow, looking on the side of the road, and drove all the way. I was like, okay, now I went here, I went up and down each of these aisles, we drove all around the parking lot looking for the baffle. And then I says, okay, so I went to the Harley shop, and so we drove it, and I said, okay, I turned in here, and then when we came out, my husband found it. He goes, there it is. And it was laying in the middle of the road, smashed flat, and right outside the Harley shop. So, to me, I believe that people who ride Harleys are faithful to Harleys. They don't really like other kind of motorcycles. I don't know if this is true or not, but in my opinion it is. And so I always feel kind of weird going to the Harley shop on the Kawasaki. Even though I've only had it for a few days, I've been to the Harley shop twice already because I was looking for that part, and I was looking for some shoes, and it's right down the road, so it's so easy to go to. And there was all kinds of people outside that day, I remember, and I'm imagining driving out of the parking lot on my Kawasaki, and they're looking at me like, what is a person doing on a crotch rocket over here at the Harley shop. And then that baffle falls out, probably made some noise on the pavement. They're like, look at that bike, brand new, and things are already falling off of it. I don't know if that's true, if anyone even saw it or not, or heard it or whatever, but it was pretty funny that I lost that thing right in front of the Harley shop. But yeah, I don't need it. It's trash, but it was funny that we found it and we went driving around. So lessons learned: put thread locker and make sure that screw is really tight before you go, even just a test drive to see which sound you like better. Make sure that baffle is in there really tight, or you're not gonna have it anymore. So yep. Take care. Y'all have a great day. Bye bye.